We've seen comedians face attacks over saying things that hurt people's feelings. People have called for Netflix to fire Dave Chappelle and remove all of his work from their platform because his jokes were too edgy. And of course, the same thing is happening to Ricky Gervais, someone who actually calls out Hollywood in cancel culture. He was attacked after slamming Jada and Will Smith over the Oscars slap. He slammed Hollywood elites at the Golden Globes, and now his newest Netflix special is infuriating activists. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So, this is a Bounding into Comics article that I wanted to start with. It says, LGBTQ activists slam Ricky Gervais' new Netflix special due to jokes being made at their expense. A line is being drawn in the sand between stand-up comedians and the LGBTQ community, and the fallout is starting to get ugly. The latest Netflix special from comedian Ricky Gervais, called Supernature, has only been released on the platform for a few hours at the time of this article being written, and it is already being labeled as transphobic by progressives in the media. The comedy bit is also being labeled hurtful because some of the jokes are at the expense of the trans community. Now, I don't think that I've said something has been hurtful to me in years and years and years. That's just not what I say when something upsets me, and I think that it's honestly hilarious that people are going on social media saying, oh, this hurt my feelings. Is it really that big of a deal that a comedian is simply making jokes? It says, though, in the opening act of his comedy special, he dives into material about the trans community mocking pronouns and gender identity. Now, just because comedians throw a few jokes into their work about trans individuals or pronouns doesn't mean they're terrible people. It's comedy. It's not like these people are calling for violence against these individuals, and it's not like it's the whole entire show. Okay, making a couple of jokes throughout hours and hours of content really isn't that big of a deal. He jokes about old-fashioned women and new women, and he talks about ones with beards. I'm not going to repeat these jokes simply because YouTube will probably end up marking this video as inappropriate, offensive content, because that's what happens, but it is on screen in case you want to read the jokes. I don't find an issue with this type of comedy. Okay, I am perfectly fine with edgy comedy. I don't think that it should be banned. I don't think that people should get canceled over it. I think that it's absurd if people call for someone to be completely, removed from a platform because of jokes. It says the term TERF was created by LGBTQ activists who criticize those on the progressive left who reject the notion that trans women are real women. The term has been used to smear individuals like J.K. Rowling, who despite being a progressive feminist refuses to co-sign many of the notions presented by the trans community, such as women competing in women's sports. He also discussed Kevin Hart, who in 2018 removed himself from hosting the Oscars because he refused to apologize for a past stand-up comedy bit about a fear he had about his son having his first gay moment. Kevin Hart is also someone who has been attacked for jokes that he made years and years and years ago, and I respect him for not apologizing for comedy. I don't think that comedians should be forced to apologize because a few people get offended by their jokes. Ricky also said you can't predict what will be offensive in the future. You don't know who the dominant mob will be. Like, the worst thing you can say today, get you canceled on Twitter, death threats. The worst thing you can say today is women don't have penises, right? The comedian continued, now no one saw that coming. There are no 10-year-old tweets of people saying, you won't find a 10-year-old tweet of someone saying women don't have penises. Do you know why? We didn't think we effing had to. You can see the type of humor that he was having. I don't think that it's that bad, to be honest. But within the first 20 hours of his special hitting Netflix, a mountain of outrage poured into social media to condemn his hateful jokes at their expense. Outlets like The Independent stated Supernature deals in cheap jokes and humiliating people and gave it a 2-star review. Pink News labeled the special as nothing more than an anti-trans garbage fire. Of course, there are specific outlets slamming this special, saying it's awful, it's disgusting. And this is almost the same thing I said about Chappelle, but this is Ricky's brand. He makes jokes that he does for a certain audience, and most people know that that's his brand and the type of humor he provides to people. If you don't like his type of comedy, don't watch his specials or videos about him. That is the beauty of the internet. You can just block keywords about them and ignore posts about them. No one's forcing you to watch his content. There's very few things that are off limits in terms of comedy, in my opinion, and pronouns and sexuality aren't part of that list. There are plenty of comedians out there who I'm not the largest fan of. I just don't like their type of humor. Does that mean I go on social media and try to get them canceled? Of course not. I think that that's absurd. It says other LGBT activists on social media also voiced their complaints about the special. Discount Ripley tweeted, 5 minutes in and he's making jokes about trans women attacking people in public bathrooms. To him, we exist only as a punchline, a threat, something less than human. You're getting that out of just a couple of jokes that I truly don't understand. People are saying that he's a disgrace. People are saying that he's just an awful person. These jokes are just effing hurt. What a great reminder that people see us as subhuman. I used to like you, man. This is what individuals are also doing, trying to say, I used to like you, but now you've lost a viewer. Now you've lost a supporter, so you should change your jokes back to what they used to be. I mean, he's always told pretty edgy jokes. This community has been on a crusade against any stand-up comedian that dares to make jokes about them. Earlier this week, Isaiah Lee, the man who attempted to assault Dave Chappelle during his recent Netflix is a Joke performance, revealed that he was motivated to attack the comedian after being triggered by his jokes. These are the reasons why people are getting attacked. This is a awful situation that happened. I have talked about it in another video, but no one should be attacked simply for telling jokes. Being triggered isn't a reason to attack someone. So the article ends off with the question becomes, will big-name comedians deciding to take a stand against the progressive lobby pay off, or will this community who has been responsible for silencing everyone who opposes their agenda succeed in killing the art of comedy? I do truly hope that comedians stand their ground, they keep making the jokes they want to make. I understand that it is almost risky business simply because there's so much outrage on social media, and there are people who are afraid of getting canceled for sure, but I don't think that they should stop telling these jokes just because a couple of people dislike these jokes and find them triggering. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.